Welcome to You Are Not Alone. I am spiritual medium Erica Gabriel. This show is intended to bring expansion, understanding, and growth on our spiritual paths and journeys. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. Please remember, I am not a licensed therapist or medical doctor. Seek immediate professional help if you need mental health or physical health support. Welcome back. Hi, friends. How are you? You know, sometimes I want to say good morning, but really you can be listening to this any time of day. Morning, noon, night, right? So should I just say good day? Should I just Downton Abbey this podcast and be like, good day to you, ma'am? Good day. But I'm so glad you're here. How are you guys? I'm laughing. I was listening to the beginning of the first podcast from this quote season. I say season because I do a ton of podcasts and then I take a break. That is just kind of how rolling out these podcasts have gone. I do a ton of episodes. I'm having the time of my life, and then I take a break. And usually during that break, I am creating a course or writing or doing something, with quote work, just in a different capacity. So technically, this is season 4, not 3. And when I started this quote season, I'm like, welcome to season 3 of You're Not Alone. It's like, no, girl, no, it's season 4 if you were doing seasons. So anyway, this is season 4 of You Are Not Alone. I am so happy that we are back and we're back together and just exploring spirituality, God, new ideas, new thoughts, expanding our mind. I have a best friend and her name is Priya. And we met when we were in the womb, which is kind of funny because our older sisters went to school together, kindergarten through 12, at a small private school. So everyone knew each other really well. I think there's like 50 or 60 girls in a class. And so Priya's mom and my mom would pick up our sisters from school. And they would see each other pregnant with Priya and with I. So we always say we were like friends in the womb, which makes a lot of sense because we have an unbelievable, wild past life history, very profound. We have literally the same dreams about each other in a completely different dimension. And then we tell each other, I had this dream, and they're the same dream. It's crazy. I'm going to have Priya on, okay? Little spoiler alert. I'm going to have Priya on. And we'll talk about soulmates and twin flames and soul level connections and reincarnating in soul groups and friendship and all that good stuff. So that's coming up. But something Priya said to me, we were like having hors d'oeuvres, like sitting up at a bar having hors d'oeuvres. It was like the restaurant had opened like 5 or whatever. And something about Priya and I is we always blow each other's minds. We just blow each other's minds. And Priya said, I feel like I bring something to you, Erica, and I kind of open this door to these ideas, and you bust the door open and rip it off its hinges, basically, and take me to a whole nother place, right? We were telling each other kind of how we were feeling about our connection, and she said, you kind of blow the doors off this shit, you know? And it made me laugh because I kind of feel like that can be this podcast as well, where we just like rip the door off the hinges. There is no doorway. And we just kind of open things up and kind of experience and really expand our consciousness in different ways. And I think a lot of the episodes that we've done, I say we, like you and I, you know what I mean? Like we've been through so much, but we have. And a lot of the episodes have done that. And it just feels like a really positive, safe place. So I hope you feel that way. I know a lot of you are binging episodes right now. You guys write me and you're like, hey, I just listened to 65 of your podcasts in a row. And I'm like, I am so sorry. Not really. Like, I'm not sorry that you listened to the podcast, but I am sorry if I've been rambling in your ear for 65 episodes, and we kind of laugh about it. But it's good. I feel like, whatever you're thinking or feeling, you can find something here for you. you can find something. So I hope in this episode called Surrender, you find something here. So here's the deal. This is how I feel about this podcast. So first of all, I put on Instagram, actually, let me get my phone so I can tell you exactly what happened here. So I'm pulling up my phone. You guys can't see me. I'm getting my phone. I'm unlocking it. Okay. So I'm on Instagram and I put like a poll on there. Let me get to it. Here we go. I put a poll on there that said, doing another solo episode today. My guides have given me 3 topics that I've touched on, but need to do a full episode on. Which topic are you most drawn to? What are you drawn to? And I put a poll. The first one was Akashic Records. The second option was protecting your energy. And the third option was surrendering. So I think I'm going to do all of them, by the way. But the winner with 41% was surrendering. Then came Akashic Records. Then came protecting your energy. I was actually really, really, really surprised. I was like, wait, really? I am like, oh, I thought it was going to be Akashic Records, but it was surrendering. And then I thought to myself, oh, shit. That's the hardest one, right? It's not hard, but it's so layered and it's so, so dynamic. And I feel like when you pull the thread of surrenders, a million other threads come down. So when I took a moment to sit and think about this episode, first of all, I'm really excited about talking about surrender. It's one of the principles, one of the foundational principles of spirituality, of God, of trusting God, of just spirituality, spiritual practice. So I'm excited to talk about surrender, and I feel like there's so many aspects and components. So if we do surrender and we need to go back and do another surrender, we will do that. But I will say for the purposes of this episode, take some deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Drop your shoulders, relax your face, and ease into this podcast. You may not have in this 20, 30, 40 minutes every single answer about surrendering answered. Every single question, answered. Surrendering is a lifelong journey practice of highs and lows. And my intention with my guides is to bring you some ideas and some thoughts and some actual practices that will serve you on a path of surrendering. And hopefully some of the things you hear about surrender will take the door off the hinges for you a little bit. That is my intention today. But we have to come at it from all different angles and pull threads from different angles. So here we go. So the thing about surrender, and the reason why I wanted you guys to breathe is when I say surrender, do you get anxiety? Not actual clinical anxiety. I'm not a therapist, but I'm saying, do you get a pump of nervousness or anxious energy? For me, when someone's like, hey, just surrender it, man. I'm like, oh, thanks. What the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? I'm like, sweet. Thanks for that advice. That feels really nerve-wracking to me, right? It's kind of like when someone is like, you know what? Just let it go. I'm literally like, oh my God, let it go. Wow. I never thought of that. Thanks. It's kind of like, yeah, duh. Yeah. If I could let it go, I would. It's not like you're telling me some brand new information, right? It's obviously something maybe you're stuck on, right? So with surrender, for me, when I'm just in my Erica-ness, right? I hear like, oh, surrender it. I'm like, F you, man. What does that mean? Right? And then I cool my ego down. I take some deep breaths. I recenter. I reground. And I start to remember the truth within myself, the truth of God and the universe. And I get back on the vibration and the understanding of surrender as I cool down the mental chaos and the mental mind fuck that I do to myself. Does anyone else do that? Anyone? Anyone out there? Raise your hand if sometimes your mind is just messing with you hard. So today, hopefully you hear some things that when you are feeling that mental chaos, or maybe you're a way more level-headed person than me and you don't get into total chaos, but you have thoughts that pull you off your truth or off your balance, hopefully something you hear today will serve you in understanding and give you some support when you are working with the idea of surrender. So again, surrender, yes, you must surrender. Most spiritual practices are based on surrender and forgiveness and these tenets. Is it tenets or tenement? I think it's tenets. Tenets of spirituality. Okay. Knowing words or knowing how to spell words are clearly not one of the required spiritual practices. Okay. So here's what happens with surrender. We have things that we want. And the idea of surrender is to take those things and to surrender them to the universe and basically say, Spirit, God, universe, I surrender this thing to you because I know that in your hands, it will go where it needs to go, right? But a couple things get in our way, many things, but a couple things get in our way. Number one, we don't know what we want. We don't know what we want. So when we think about surrender, we're like, I don't even know how to do that. What am I surrendering? I don't even know. Is surrendering faith? We get so confused. So the first idea with surrender is answering the question, what do I want? What do I want? Do you have an answer to that? What do you want? So from there, I'm turning my page. I took notes, you guys. I never take notes. That's why I'm pausing because I'm like, oh my God, I have to make sure I say everything because this is just a big one, right? But the idea with what do I want? And believe me, my notes are actually, I'm going to post my notes one day and you can see how my mind works. They are not, school quality, guys. They're not school quality, not chip shape. You know what I mean? Anyway, so when we sit down and we say, what do we want? We bump into some things. And those things are what I literally based my course, quote, The Way, off of. Because Spirit had me download the 3 main things that get in our way when we want to know what we want. They had me download the 3 things. They had me make a course about the 3 things. And then they gave me clear practices, spiritual practices to move through those things. So let me tell you what they are. The number one thing that gets in our way of figuring out what we want is fear. We're scared. We're scared of success. We're scared of failure. We're scared of it all. We're scared of letting ourselves down. We're scared of letting our families down. We're scared that if we put our heart into something and it doesn't happen, what will become of us? We are afraid. So that's number one. Number two, we are constantly in a trauma response. We have had trauma and we are constantly, consistently waiting for the other shoe to drop. So we are living in a state of something terrible might happen. I'm just going to stay right here because here is safe. So we're in a trauma response. So someone goes, what do you want? And you're like, nothing, just keep me safe. Because I'm technically just responding to trauma all the time. I'm going very fast through these, guys. There's a lot more to this, but I just want you to have these concepts. So when you hang up the phone or get off the podcast app or whatever you're listening to me on, you have some things to work with and on and think about. So the last thing, and this is a big one, it's also a hard one to talk about, but the last thing that blocks us from figuring out what we want that we can bump into is victimhood. We had some bad shit happen. We really did. And we are in this victimhood. Our whole life, we are victimized from this terrible thing. This is very triggering because it's like, are you victim shaming? Like, what are you talking about? People have terrible things happen, and they do. It is not shaming them for being a victim of whatever it may be, emotional, physical, mental, right? It's whatever the victim, whatever the bad thing was, right? So the idea with victimhood is not that those terrible things didn't happen, but the idea of getting out from under victimhood is believing that you still have power and you can take the power back in your life. And there's many, many ways to do that. Not easy, But there's many, many ways to do that. So when you're in victimhood, you're like, I'm a victim. I have no control. I don't even know what to ask for what I want. So those three things block us from answering, what do I want? If you are associating with any of those three things, and by the way, I associate with all of them, just so you know, and I slide between those three at different times of my life. So listen, I get it. But if you are struggling and you're getting stuck on what do I want, so you don't even know what you want to surrender because you don't even know what you want, go on my website, click on my course. Once you click on it, you purchase the course, you have it for life. You can work it and rework it and listen to it. Buy that course. And I know I sound like I'm being pushy and whatever. That is not my intention. I'm just telling you the truth, basically. I'm like, I'm not being pushy. You can do whatever you want, but this is the truth. Anyway, I mean, look, the reason why I'm saying it is because I poured my heart, soul into it. And I truly believe it will help you if you're stuck on one of those three things. Okay. So number one, what do you want? Write it down. What do you want? So then what happens is we're like, okay, say I want to write a book. I'm going to use that as an example. Okay. I want to write a book. We have that idea of writing a book. And then our mind starts to just cave in on us. How will I write a book? I failed English in school. Who would ever publish that book? Who would ever read the book? I have no time to write the book. We start to throw in every roadblock in our path. And so what happens is the very thing that we want starts to turn on us and become a negative. Let me say that again. The thing that we want starts to become a negative and a bad thing, a daunting thing, a thing that is giving us worry, doubt, fear, anxiety. It turns on us, and that blocks us from surrendering it. That's what blocks us. We want it so badly that we squeeze the shit out of it. We bang our heads against the wall. We feel we're in total lack of it. We feel desperate about it. And then it starts to turn on us and it starts to become a negative, right? So the idea, and we're using this podcast about surrender on something very specific. There is a vibration of surrender that you can vibe out on throughout your life. You can weave surrender into your whole life and spiritual practice. But today we're talking about surrendering something that you want. Does that make sense? I should have said that earlier, but I know you guys are vibing what I'm putting out, so we're good. But the idea is when you are working with the idea of surrendering something, you have to figure out what you want, move through the things that may be blocking you from figuring out what you want, and then acknowledging that that thing may be turning on you and turning into a negative for you. So when you realize that, and I've done this a lot, actually. I love that part of this podcast is me just saying, yeah, I've done that. I'm troubled. You know what I mean? But you know what? Most of this information that has been downloaded to me has been over 15 to 20 years of profound, deep connection to the spirit world, listening into readings, connecting with thousands of spirit guides and people that have crossed over. So much of this information has been downloaded day after day after day. I'm sitting here in my office with spirit. And so I'm downloading all this. And also a lot of this are things that I struggle with and that I've been downloading for myself as well. So I am with you guys. This podcast is a constant reminder of I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. So once you realize what you want, you move through the blocks, you realize maybe that thing is turning on you due to your own worries, doubts, fears, anxiety, belief of lack. When you realize that, you realize, wow, shit, this thing is turning on me, man. This thing's turning negative. Wow. How do I surrender that? I'm holding it so tight. I'm holding it with anxiety, worry, lack, doubt, fear. Whoa. And so the component of surrender is taking it and transforming how you feel about it, transforming what you think about it, and then surrendering it. Right? So let me tell you how to do that. Before I do that, really quick, I also want you to see that you're trying to manipulate it, control it, and it's turning dark when we're trying to control something like that. So that's where surrender also comes in, right? You cannot always control every little thing. So here's what you're going to do. Let's take the book idea, right? So say you want to write a book and you've decided that's what you want. And, you're writing, your mind is being judgmental, you're scared of outcome, you don't believe it's going to get published, all these negative things. So every time you think of your book, you think a lot of negative stuff, right? That is taking surrender completely away. You're trying to stronghold it, you're trying to muscle it down, you're trying to control it, you're in fear, all the things. So here's what you're going to do. Say your dream is to write a book, have it published, and have it, sell lots and lots. That's your goal, okay? And not only sell, but touch people's lives. And they're so excited about the book and they love the book and it's great. And it's like one of their favorites and it's helped their life, okay? Say those are your intentions behind the book. So what you would do is sit down and create a vision for the ultimate experience surrounding the book. So I'm going to make something up, right? So say your ultimate is, sitting in a beautiful bookstore, signing books to a long line of people that look really happy. So their book touched them and they want to get it signed and, lots of people had bought it. So the ultimate would be you sitting in a bookstore with a bunch of Sharpies, signing books. So the idea is you would sit down and create in your mind that vision. So it's a vision of you. You're at a chair, there's a long line, you've got a stack of your books, you've got the Sharpies, maybe some bottles of water, your agent is sitting with you, whatever, and you start signing books. Boom, that's your vision, leave it there. And you have it, right? That is your vision. Yes. And then the next step after you have your vision is to notice in your vision how you feel. So go into your vision, you see it, it's all there, you see the people, and just like pretend you're there and feel your face and feel your body. And it's like, oh, baby, yes, I feel so good. I feel good. I feel happy. Yes. Let yourself feel the feeling of being there. You see it, you feel it. Yes, thank you, God. Yes, thank you, universe. Boom. Take that vision, take that feeling, say, thank you, God, and so it is. Thank you, God, for opening my path to walk towards that incredible vision. Boom, you just surrendered it to the universe. Mic drop. Surrender. And then you go back and you're in your normal life and you're like, oh man, my book. Someone actually going to publish it? And you're going to go, oh, wait. Go back to my vision, close your eyes, vision, feel the feeling. Yes, woo, there it is. Surrender, right? You're going to surrender it. And you're going to know that you do not know who's going to publish your book. You do not know when that's going to happen. You don't know, but you have your vision. You gave your vision to God and you saw the vision, you felt the vision and you said, yes, thank you, God. And so it is. Boom. I'm soaring it into the universe. So then you are walking towards that. You're not walking towards your worry and your doubt and your fear and your feelings of lack and mistrust. You walk towards your vision. And every time you start to drag yourself down by your own ego into negative, horrible thoughts about yourself and about your book, you're going back to your vision. You're feeling the feelings of the vision and you're kissing it to God with joy, with gratitude, with feelings of abundance. Surrender it. And then when you go and you sit down to write, you're like, all is well. I already gave it to God. I'm just going to write and have fun. I'm going to write and have fun. I'm going to write and have fun. I'm going to write and have fun. And your ego's going to go, no one's going to publish this. And you're going to go, I hear you, babe, but I've got my vision. I'm surrendering it. I go back to the feeling. I go back to the feeling. I go back to the feeling, and I'm going to give it to God. So this is also a powerful message in manifestation as well. But the manifestation component that you want to have is you also give it to Spirit and to God. If you want to ask God for something, ask God to help you get out of your own way. Ask God to continue to reveal to you the beautiful path you will take to get to your vision. And then say, I surrender this vision to Spirit and to God, and feel it again and again and again. It is a practice. Surrendering is a practice. You don't do it once and then never do it again. You have to do it over and over and over again. It is a feeling. Get your vision and hold it. Transcend, elevate above the worry, the doubt, and the fear. Allow yourself to give it to Spirit. If you truly believe you are a multi-dimensional spiritual being having a human experience, you will believe that the world is filled with energy, and the energy you're vibing on and riding on and toning, right? That whatever tone you're singing, whatever tune you're singing, right? Whatever vibration you're vibing on is a match. You are a match. Match what you want and let it go. Trying to control things will drive you nuts. Ride the wave of surrender. Shift your mind into the knowingness that Spirit is with you, for you, has your back, whatever you want to say. Spirit is with you. Give it to Spirit. Lay it down at God's feet. But don't just say, oh, God, please, please, please take this. You're going to say, God, I have the vision. I give it to you. I feel so good about it. I'm so happy with it. I give you this vision. Let Spirit have its way with it. And get out of the way. Surrender. Lay it at God's feet. Same thing if you're looking for love. Are you looking for love? Get a vision. What do they look like? What do they smell like? Right? I always think of like nice cologne, my husband's cologne, right? What does it feel like to give them a hug? Maybe you don't see their face, but you just get a good feeling around them, and you just imagine and envision and feel this amazing person with you, and you go, yes, I am so lovable. I love, and I give this vision. I give this thought, this practice to Spirit, to universe. I'm matching that vibration and I'm kissing it to the universe. I'm giving it to God. I lay it at God's feet. It feels so good. The idea is if you're not having fun and it doesn't feel good, then just leave it be for a while. Literally, it's strange. The things that I personally have surrendered that have really worked, it's like I almost don't even think about it. It's so weird. That's just my personal way. The things that I'm muscling and, I got to do this and I got to do that and muscling, it never works out. The things I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Let's do this, really, really works. When I laid down the idea of, you guys, I'm just going to tell you right here, right now, the amount of shows that people have wanted me to do, the amount of shows that I have written and concepts like TV shows or whatever to spread these messages on a broad scale, the amount of people that have contacted me, huge networks that wanted me to do shows, right? None of it has worked out, and it's totally fine. Rejection is protection. I go off that. But when I surrendered it, I literally got emails in my inbox. Hey, we want you to come on this show. Hey, come on this show. You know what I mean? When I was like, whatever, I'm focusing on other things, right? I had the intention out there. I did feel great about it. And then I just tried to muscle it down, fight for it, in such a way that it got negative. It doesn't mean you don't work hard or work well or whatever you want to say. Some people have problems saying work hard. Okay, fine. I like to work hard personally. That's just me. But you can't just sit on the couch and go, here, God, take my life. Bye. You know what I mean? You need to have that focus, right? You need to know what you want and work for that and move towards that. But let that beautiful vision and that incredible feeling pull you as you surrender that to spirit and to God. Surrender. Let it go. Let it go. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I had to almost start singing the Frozen song, but I had to stop myself. I hope this makes sense. There's so much more. There's so much more, but I want you to think that surrendering is a mindset shift. It's a practice. It's a concept. It's something you can't touch or hold, but it's in you, aligning with the truth of the universe, aligning with the power within you, aligning with this incredible notion and feeling of God is everywhere, the feeling of spirit, knowing that if you can visualize it and feel it and match with it, you can release it, and that the universe will really respond to that. Muscling it closes that door. Feeling negative about it, bad about it, worried about it, controlling about it, closes that door. I hope this podcast served you. I loved doing it for you. It took on a life of its own, and I'm so happy with it. And I pray that if the way, my course, speaks to you, I really surrender it. No, but honestly, I do pray that people that need it find their way to it. I really do. That's why I did it. I did it because I can give it to many, many people all at the same time instead of one at a time. You know what I mean? So if it speaks to you and you're looking for ways to find out what you want, moving through fear or trauma or victimhood or all three, taking the power back in your hands, I think it's a fantastic start. It's a beautiful course. And I hope you like it as well. I hope this podcast made sense. I hope it served you. You guys are amazing. Thank you for listening. I love you. We have so much more exciting content, guests, lots of new things coming up. Please drop me a rating and a comment on Apple Podcasts or wherever you see there's a place to comment, and share the podcast. That's really helps me keep going. I love you. I'm thinking about you. God bless you. And I'll see you next week.